This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring. For the date of
June 9th, 2010.
Hey, welcome to episode 61 of Remix Report. I'm DJ JD.
And I'm DJ J Spring.
And today, in honor of Lil Jon finally dropping his Crunk Rock album, finally, after a long wait.
Very highly anticipated.
So we're going to talk about his most classic track, Get Low, and we're going to talk about the songs that we play around it.
You know, usually we try not to go out of our way to promote things. That's kind of what our site is about, just us being honest, and we talk about good music and we let that promote itself. But remember what we said about Lil Jon, and he's going out of his way to hook up the DJ, so we figured we'd go out of our way to kind of promote his album here and talk about Get Low. So let's get into Get Low right now. As JD mentioned, one of his all-time classics, and one of the reasons it's so classic is just because it does so well at the club. It's a track that everyone really sings along to. That's one of the few tracks that you can confidently cut the crossfader to the other side and you know that everyone's going to sing along if you have a full crowd.
Yeah, just watch out, because when I've done like high school and middle school dances, which I have done plenty of, watch out playing this song sometimes, because they won't censor themselves.
No.
You drop out that music and they're just going to go crazy with it, and you might get a bad look from a teacher or a principal.
I can see that. I can see that.
Just a warning for you.
So this chorus that we're talking about, there's a few kind of different parts of it. It's not your regular chorus. It starts with the 3-6-9 part, and that's 4 bars. And then after that is the window to the wall part that JD was just talking about comes in, and that's 8 bars. I usually kind of cut it after those 8.
So it's really a 12-bar chorus.
Then after that part, it has the Are You Scared part, which I don't really consider that. I guess that's not really part of the chorus, but it's kind of catchy, and some people still might let it play into that part. But I usually cut it before that. And I think JD and I both quick mix the song. We'll bring it in, and I think the chorus comes in right away when you mix into the song.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the verse, and then the second chorus, and we both mix out of the second chorus. So why don't you tell them some of the ways that you mix out of this?
Yeah, so a couple tracks that I play after would be Crooklyn Clan's Get Busy. Sean Paul has a really distinct snare drum at the beginning. Kind of keeps that energy up. Also, DJ Skills, a remix we talked about a little while ago, his Salt Shaker 2010 Party Anthem. Ying Yang Twins kind of re-drum. I've been playing that a lot after it. The drum intro on that sounds really good over it. Also, Bad by Ying Yang Twins sounds really good after, keeping with that kind of crunk vibe from the early 2000s.
Myself, because this track has a ton of energy in it, obviously you have the crowd going crazy, so you want to keep that craziness going. What better way to do that than Be Faithful? Obviously that's a typical song that you'd play after, but really does work. One thing I will say about this track, the Lil Jon, the Get Low, is my biggest thing in terms of mixing is I try to sound as smooth as possible, which I'm sure everyone else does too. And part of that to me is that when the song you're mixing out of, you have to know if let's say you're mixing out of the second chorus, you have to know if his verse after that kind of leaks in a little bit to the chorus. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Is if he starts his next verse before the one, you know what I'm saying, JD? I hope I'm making sense.
I do.
So if there's a few words that kind of leak into that chorus from the upcoming verse, I try to fade out of the chorus before that, so those words don't get chopped off, and that's something that I strongly believe in, that helps you sound a lot smoother when you're playing. So with that said, Get Low, his upcoming verse does leak slightly into the chorus, the Are You Scared part that I talked about before. So I definitely make sure I fade it out of it before it gets to those couple words. And when I'm playing Be Faithful, obviously the bass drop that Fat Man Scoop says comes in before Be Faithful really hits. So that works good when I'm fading out of Get Low because it leaves room for the bass drop part. Another track that I'll play is Party Up by DMX. That's another track that'll keep the energy going. Or you can play You Could Do It by Ice Cube. That kind of changes the vibe a little bit from kind of the down south vibe into kind of a more girl slash party track. I don't know what I want to call it. Or another track I could play after Get Low would be Bring 'Em Out by T.I., which definitely is an energetic track for, I think it's 99 BPM, so I have to speed it up a little bit. But those are some good examples to keep the party going.
So we're actually going to each play you an example of what we do. Mine's going to be an example of playing Salt Shaker after, and your example is going to be?
I'll do Be Faithful.
Alright, so let's take a listen.
3, 6, 9, damn, take a second to me one more time and go. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low. To the window, to the wall, to the wall. To the sweat drop down my ball. My ball. All these bitches raw. All these motherfuckers. All these goddamn. All these motherfuckers. All these goddamn. If you got a fat ass, get your hands up. If you got a fat ass, get your hands up. Sweat drop down my ball. My ball. All these bitches raw. All these motherfuckers. All these goddamn. All these motherfuckers. Bass drop, bass drop. Out, 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 out.
Alright, so those were our examples. Definitely Spring's Be Faithful one kind of does show you how you cut it off a little bit to not play the words in the next chorus, and how the bass drop comes in before the downbeat of Be Faithful. Another thing I want to say about this track is this is a good bathroom break track, because you can potentially play it like the full version and keep people into it if you really got to run and are quick. Is a perfect track to play.
I actually know this for a fact because I was actually in the booth at Shrine one time when JD disappears, and as he's running he goes, "Spring, play the next track." So I can definitely vouch for that. As we said at the beginning, make sure you guys support Lil Jon, Crunk Rock. We can't say it enough. Make sure you guys are playing tracks off the album. Try to push this album as much as possible, because as DJs, like we said when we did our 50th episode about Out of Your Mind, as DJs we want to believe that we're important, and we always talk about how the artists should be taking care of us because we're the ones who break their records. Well, now it's time for us to prove it and to put our money where our mouth is and to actually go ahead and help Lil Jon break this record, because he is the artist that has taken care of us. So
Well said.
with that said, if you guys have any tracks that you want to share that you play around Get Low, or tell us how you bring it in, hit us up, register, leave a comment, or email us, remixreport@gmail.com.
Remixreport.com